Welcome, I'm Patchwork Ninja. Thank you very much for registering our online workshop. We're going to sew this fantastic Hime princess wallet together. Have you seen this wallet? Probably you have. This is a retro style Italian coin purse with sliding closures. We've been using like just our Japanese textiles to make one of those. That's really fantastic, fabulous and fast Christmas gifts if you're thinking of making many for your Christmas gifts coming along. Have you made this one before? Probably you have. It's not a difficult project to make, one of those. It's easy to make okay one, but probably it's a little bit difficult to make fantastic ones. Fantastic ones, symmetric, and also fantastic ones like just has got great attachment of the casing. If you look at those casing, these casings, that's what you need to thread your closures through. This width needs to be even. If it's too wide or too narrow, it doesn't work. If it's too wide, your thread will slip out, and if it's too narrow, you can't thread your closures in. That's really disappointing because you have all your hard work done and you can't thread your closures through. Threading your closures is the hardest part for this project. Our workshop shows you how to thread your closures, and we make it really slow so like just you can get used to it. The best tip I can give you how to make yours look like really professional. So get your measurements and cutting right. So this is the best tip ever. So we show you how to prepare for your workshop. Please watch our cutting and measurements. Let's get it started. That's all the materials you need. So first we're going to introduce what's included in the kit because it has got everything you need. First things you need is closures because closures is essential for this Hime wallet. And please look for our closures because like the other shop selling closures but little bit different in sizes, and then you need to have our closures. Japanese fabric for the outside, so our kit is already pre-cut for casing. So casing and very thin interfacing, that's what you need for the casing. Japanese fabric for the outside, and instead of using the wadding, we're using fusible interfacing. You can use wadding if you want, but it's really hard to sew it like if you using the wadding. And here comes fabric for the lining, and that's all fabrics and interfacing. And our kit includes the patterns. You need to have a patterns at least because that's the actual size patterns for outside, and also the lining, and also the casings as well. If you haven't got your kits and patterns or closures, it's still available. Probably I recommend you to have a kit because kit has got everything. You don't need to look for anything else, including interfacing and lining and closures. So like it's pretty good to have. We have 3 ninja notions, really good to have if you have those. You can make your Hime wallet sewing much even easier. We're going to use those. This is the ninja needles. That's the sharpest needles ever in Japan. Has got 110 years of history. We're going to use when we're doing the basting stitch. You need to baste your casing before stitching up with your sewing machine. So that's very important. Most important thing is positioning your casings right. I highly recommend you to have really sharp and good quality needles. And also this thread is really heavy duty. Why it's good to have this one? Because it's easy to thread with this needle. That's a great thing to have both of those. This is another ninja notion. It's what we call cherry blossom seam opener. What the heck is this? This is actually made from the cherry blossom trees in my hometown, Kumamoto, Japan. We asked a local chopstick maker to create one of those. It's handcrafted and also has got the good surface of this. That will be really helpful if you want to crease your fabrics when we're going to use it, because like we need to fold your casings to make this shape. So like just this is helpful, like just if you want to use it instead of like before ironing it, it's good to crease up like using this one. So like just I highly recommend. And also you can poke the things out using the other end. Yeah. And also, well, you know, a couple of years ago I had a long hair, so like I used to use the kanzashi. You know what the kanzashi is? Like just you can bundle your hair and then like just put it up like this. Yeah, so you can take this out and you can crease your yeah, you can make a good crease. Yeah, that's really fantastic. You look like one of our patchwork ninja, like just the master of patchwork. Yeah, if you have one of those, so I highly recommend to have one of those. Comes with a nice fancy case as well. And other things you need is a pair of scissors, another one as well, and pens to mark, and also the nipper, rotary cutter, ruler, and that's a ninja notion I introduced just before, cherry blossom seam opener, and a bit of iron, a ninja timber, and craft clips. I thought craft clips is easier, and sharp needle and thread for basting stitch. And also sewing machine will be good. First step is you need to cut the enclosed patterns. We have a and B. B is for the lining and A is for outside fabrics, and these sizes are different to each other. Now prepare for the hard paper and trace the cut out the paper patterns, so it's easier to handle like when you are actually tracing these patterns onto your fabrics. Once you finish cutting the hard paper, you got B for the lining and do the same for the pattern for the outside fabric. Because we need to add 7mm seam allowances, we recommend you to prepare two types of patterns, one without seam allowance, one with seam allowances, so that you can make it easier for your marking and cutting and measurements. In your kit, you have fabrics enough for the two outside fabrics, so use your craft clips like that and then start cutting out your Japanese fabrics. Cut very carefully and prepare for 2 pieces of Japanese fabrics outside. Now you have 2 pieces of wallet exterior. You can draw the stitch line using the pattern without seam allowances. Now please do the same for the lining. Prepare 2 types of patterns, one with a seam allowance, one without seam allowances. Now on the wrong side, using the one with the seam allowances, please trace your lines. Now it's very important to draw the line for the stitch line for the lining, because later on you need to see these lines when you're stitching, so please make sure to draw the line using the pattern without seam allowances, and then start cutting along the outer edge of the lining. And please prepare 2 pieces and please set them aside. Please make sure to draw the sewing lines, which is 7mm inside of the outer edges, and these measurements need to be very accurate, so please pay extra attention for this. Now because we need to fuse the interfacing on the wrong side of the Japanese fabrics outside using the pattern A for the outside fabrics, please make sure to use the pattern without seam allowances and trace the lines and just cut the interfacings like before. Here comes a little shortcut tip using the craft clip. If you fold in half, and then please make sure to hold those layers really properly with the craft clips, and make sure these ones are not moving around, and then just you can start cutting the fusible interfacing like that. so you can save lots of time like if you're busy. Throughout this workshop, we've been using a lot of craft clips, and I highly recommend you to have some of those. It's very handy. We prefer to use those instead of using pins. So please prepare 2 pieces of fusible interfacing and then set these aside. Now it's time to fuse your fusible interfacing on the wrong side of Japanese fabrics. The positioning of fusible interfacing for these Japanese fabrics are very important. You might find it little fiddly about these small interfacing, but we have a fantastic ninja sewing hacks called Ninja Timber. So you can make this step really easy using our Ninja Timber. You know, sometimes like just heating up like that, your fusible products like might peel off because like just it's not really stable. But we have a fantastic ninja sewing notions called Ninja Timber. That's a Ninja Timber. Just immediately after you press with your iron, all you have to do is just press for the 5 seconds with Ninja Timber. Now this Ninja Timber absorbing the heat from the fusible material, so that will make it work really quickly. Now it stopped peeling off. Normally it's good to press it from the other side as well, but you don't really need to do that using this Ninja Timber because look, it's not peeling off anymore. How fantastic is this? Just make sure to fuse those 2 pieces and please set aside. Now you got the front side and then back side of the wallet. So now it looks, yeah, it makes sense for you probably. That's a back side and then that's a front side. Now it's time to attach the prong of the closures. So this is the closures. As I said before, you need to have the closures we are selling to make the perfect Hime wallet, because the other closures from the other shops has got a little bit different and then just different in sizes. So because this project is very measurement sensitive, so please make sure to get the closures from our shop. And please note, we have 2 different sizes for the closures as well. One for Hime wallet, one for mini Hime wallet. Now we're going to attach those prongs and stoppers to the one of those Japanese fabric pieces. Please see the actual size patterns because it says the positioning of this prong, which is 7.5 centimeters below from the midpoint of the Japanese fabrics. Please make sure to use the craft clip. Here comes another tips for you. Just leave the patterns like attached to your fabrics, and then just you can use the nippers to leave the mark. So like just you can have the perfect placement for your prongs. Our advice is to keep your holes really small. Don't make the big hole from the beginning. Just start from the small holes and just making bigger and bigger. See, so we're starting from the very small holes and then just making a little bit bigger, because we want to attach the prongs, but like we want to keep it very tight. Now please make sure to thread your prong from the outside of the Japanese fabrics. Just push it from the outside and then turning to the other side, you can see the legs sticking out. So it's good to have the small holes just so you can push it to enlarge the holes. Then thread the stoppers in, and here comes our fantastic ninja notions called cherry blossom seam opener. Not only the creasing up the fabric, you can use to bend those legs of the prong, which is really handy. You can use this kind of leverage, so you can push it to the other side really easily, so you don't have to hurt your fingernails. So that's really handy things to have, because it's a cherry blossom trees, it's heavy duty, and yeah, it's just a nice little fancy tool to use. So prong is attached to one of those Japanese fabric pieces, and then just set aside with the other magnetic part as well. So you got two Japanese pieces with fantastic positioning of your wadding. Now let's finish off with your casing. So use one side usable interfacings to the wrong side of Japanese fabric side. Again, you can use the same techniques using the Ninja timber while we are ironing from the wrong side, because otherwise when you're turning inside out, flip it to the other side, probably the positioning will be moved around. Okay, so two pieces of the casing is already done, and now we're going to measure 1 centimeters from the outer edges. Yeah, if you're using mini Hime wallets, your measurement will be a little bit different, so please see your instructions to do this. Here comes our fantastic cherry blossom seam opener. So you can crease up like just leaving the mark, which is really great, like just pushing, leaving the mark, and then just you can crease up using the flat surface of seam opener. Just press and rub it against like just maybe 5 times, and just leaving the mark, and then you can fold it, and then just you can crease up. That would be really handy to do this step even if you're using the ironing, because if you're creasing up really nicely before you're ironing, so your shape of casings will be really nice. And also like just remember, these casings are really crucial, and then like just people going to have a look like just on your made up products. So like it's good to have really nice folding, like just that's a fantastic time for the origami. And then when you press with the iron and just you can do Ninja timber, you can have crystal crisp casing ready for your stitching. Yeah, so please make sure to have those two perfect casings and get ready for your sewing. Okay, so hopefully you enjoyed our pre-workshop to get your preparation done, like especially your measurements and cuttings. That's so important. If you haven't got your kits and patterns or closures, it's still available. Probably I recommend you to have a kit. Yeah, because kit has got everything. You don't need to look for anything else. It has got everything, including interfacing and lining and closures. Are you interested in all the kits, closures, and all notions we covered in this video clips? For the better value, we have the bundles available. And on the workshop day, please bring your sewing machine, especially if you want to sew it up together, and then just we can do the closures together, which is one of the trickiest part. And thank you very much for watching our pre-workshop, and then we are very looking forward to seeing you on the actual online workshop day. Bye.